celibacy doesn't really make life easy, but it does make life worth living a little more than any other time in my life. And I've been celibate for years now, years and years, and it's profound the kinds of transformations that you'll go through, because you'll start to see through the deceptions and the layers of deceptions upon inceptions upon deceptions in those inceptions. And you just think to yourself, holy moly. Like, for example, I've genuinely been wondering this recently, because it seems like there's been a lot of relationship struggles in the collective consciousness right now. And so I've genuinely thought about how perhaps, for most men out there, they need to ask themselves this question. If they're in a long-term relationship, the question is, why are you loyal to that woman? Why don't you decide to cheat on that woman? Genuinely. Okay, not because God says it's bad or whatever. Like, because, okay, yeah, I'm not encouraging you to cheat by any stretch of the imagination. But why do you stay loyal to that woman? Why do you stay loyal to her? Because here's the thing. Many women are just not worth being loyal to. Women are not loyal creatures. Not at all. And the sooner that you accept this, the more free that it makes you. And women will say, oh, no, we're loyal. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're loyal to one thing, and that's not being found out for who you really are. That's pretty much it. And the sooner that you recognize that women will do anything to ensure that they are not found out, or that they get to have the power and the control in the relationship, because they want your balls. Women want your balls. And when you're celibate, you're able to think a little more clearly about relationships and things like this, because you're not needy. You don't need a relationship. You're able to detach while still being able to form healthy connections. And so I've been wondering, I'm like, why are these men loyal to these women? Like, why don't they cheat? And I'm genuinely asking, because these women are not worth being loyal to, because they're obviously not loyal themselves. And the men, they don't have the frame to really put boundaries and enforce boundaries with the women. So why are they with them? These women are not likable, most of them. And yeah, they're attractive, but only on the outside. And the men, they're worth more. These men deserve more than this. And yet they're just sabotaging themselves. Like, what exactly is this? Is it laziness? Is it the unfulfilled life? Do they just not have any priorities or goals outside of their relationship? And so they just become, yes, honey, yes, yes, dear, yes. They're not even recalibrating the relationship to ensure that they win the outcome instead of the argument. They just let her win the outcome and the argument. And it's like, what are you doing? Okay, Jesus Christ, when he died on the cross, he won the outcome. He didn't win the argument with the Pharisees. No, he did not win the argument, but he won the outcome. God wins the war. We as godly people, we don't always win spiritual battles. But with God, we will win the war, spiritually speaking. And make no mistake, celibacy is a battleground. Sex in of itself is a battleground for demonic entities, fallen angels, and angels themselves to battle it out. The gods and goddesses and angels are battling it out. Spiritually speaking, when you become celibate, there's a whole spiritual warfare that, like, when you choose to be, all of a sudden you become more likable, you become more attractive, and not just physically, but spiritually. And that's really what matters at the end of the day, right? Because here's the thing about us men. This is something else I thought about. Why aren't they cheating on these women? Because it's not like they can't go get another woman, right? Like, I assume most of these men are more capable, or at least they just don't believe they are. So what exactly is it? Why are they being loyal to these women? What is it? Just because they want some pink palace? You know, they just want to go into the pink palace. They want that free pass to the pink palace. But even then, they're in sexless marriages. Most people live in sexless marriages. That's not even like what I think. That's a statistical fact. That a lot of people, okay, maybe not most, but there's a lot. There's a lot of sexless marriages out there. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing, men? Why aren't you placing the crown upon your own head? This is your life. This is your world. This is your adventure. Women just get to exist with us. And they're happy to do so. They're happy to just be along for the ride. If you just make the decisions, women want you to make the decisions for them. And it's so abundantly clear when you're not trying to conquer lust all the time. This is what celibacy has taught me. And it's almost as if when you become completely indifferent to women, they all want you. They can't help themselves because in their eyes, they just see you as somebody that's done like, oh, this person's scarce in energy. Like, I want his energy now. And they do. They want your energy. They do want your energy. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes when you're on celibacy? And you look into their eyes and you can like feel them trying to take your soul with their eye contact? That happens a lot. But being more likable really is the antidote to a lot of problems in life. And being more attractive spiritually is going to get you through any time period of your life, whether you're going through trials or tribulations, anything of the sort. And I don't quite understand still why these men are loyal to these women. Can they really not like, oh, I've got needs? That's like the excuse, right? Well, I've got needs, man. You like to like hold her hand or something? Like, no. Women have to do that stuff. And I don't even say have to. Probably is not the right term. Get to. They get to do that stuff. Men, we don't get to do that. In fact, if you're doing that, if like, oh, I want to hold your hand. Okay, I love the Beatles, right? I love the Beatles, but the song, I want to hold your hand, that's so gay. Okay, that's so gay. Because we all, like, on the surface, it's gay. No, I don't want to hold your hand, woman. I don't know where your hand is freaking been nowadays. I don't want to think about holding a woman's hand who's probably been around 10 different cocks. I don't like to think about that kind of stuff. I don't like that. Blech. No, I don't want to know where this woman's hand has been. I don't want to hold your hand, lady. Okay, it's the universities, which are basically just slut factories at this point, the education system as a whole, the society that we live in, it's all meant to portray men to be something that they're not. And it's designed to take the power of men. Men, we have to take our crown back and we have to place it on our own head. Think about what Napoleon did in the French Revolution. What did he do? He literally took the crown. He said, I found the crown of France in the gutter and now I place it upon my own head. That guy, I mean, with his relationships with Josephine, right? Anybody that knows the story of Napoleon, Josephine was basically a whore. And unfortunately, in Napoleon's relationship dynamics, he didn't really do well. But with strategy and with war, that guy was a fucking genius, man. He was a genius. And what did he do? What did he do so well? He planned and he continually calculated. Think about what the art of war says. The art of war says that you have to strategize and and calculate, calculate, calculate. Most of war is just planning. It's not the actual war itself. It's just planning. And this is what God does. This is why we always say God has a plan. Because God does have a plan. And it just becomes so freaking clear when you're celibate. It's so obvious. And maybe you don't know how to articulate what you're seeing sometimes. Because you're just so open to seeing the lies now. You're just like, holy shit. It's a lie. Like, it's just a lie. This is all a lie. It's all a fugazi, man. It's all a fugazi. It's a wazi. It's a woozy, right? Anybody that's seen Wolf of Wall Street understands what I'm talking about. So, it is a fugazi. And we're supposed to just sit here as men and, like, be depressed and anxious and we have to seek therapy and we have to do, like, don't get me wrong, because my one-on-one sessions, for example, they're therapeutic, but they're not therapy. We talk about real problems and real solutions, but it's not like therapy. It's therapeutic in many ways, but it's not therapy. And I think men going to therapy is gay. I've decided that. It's just gay. They want us to be gay, man. Fallen angels and demons, they want us gay. They want us spiritually neutered. They want us to listen to some white knight counselor or some covert narcissist therapist who thinks she knows things because she's got a PhD. Now look, some of them do know things and some of them are actually decent people. But for the most part, no, they're not. They just believe that they're more powerful than you because they have a degree. Like, woman, that doesn't make you better than me. You wouldn't want me the way that you do if I wasn't better than you. We're just better. Like, it's not even, I'm not saying that we're like a superior form, but we're kind of a superior form. God made us first. Look at the story of Adam and Eve. And this is something I read last night because I was rereading the story of Adam and Eve. And it's so amazing to read the Bible. And you always get something new every time you read these stories. It's just so timeless, you know? And you know what I realized is Adam, he did not name Eve until after they had the tree of the forbidden fruit. Or they had the knowledge of good and evil, and they took the tree, the fruit off the tree. He did not name Eve until that point. Okay, well, what does that say? Knowledge of good and evil. Because look what Adam says to God. When God says, hey, well, where are you guys at? Where do you guys go? Where'd you go? Because Adam and Eve, after they partake of the forbidden fruit, they realize that they're naked, and then they clothe themselves, right, with leaves. And then they try to hide from God, which, okay, good luck from that. Good luck with that. And let us know how that turns out. But they try to hide from God. And then Adam basically says, well, it was the woman. It was the woman's fault. She made me do it. Adam did what so many people do that are specifically in relationships now. So many men do this. They just blame the women. And that's not right. You just have to know how they operate. You know what's crazy is I'm not even angry. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in how many lies there have been. I'm not angry at men. I'm not really angry at women either. I don't think I'm even capable of being angry at women anymore. But when you just point out the truth of the situation, that's when they like people just take the truth to be offensive nowadays. This is something we talked about in the Regal Change Academy with the book of Daniel about a week or two ago. How Daniel listed out all of the traits of this king and basically was saying like, well, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that. He was just speaking facts, but it sounded like insults. And that's exactly how, when I speak the facts about men and women nowadays, specifically in videos like this, everybody's like, damn, that's fucking true. Or they're like, oh, so you hate women, or so you hate men, you're the enemy. I'm not, I mean, I have enemies, don't get me wrong, but some random anonymous person on the internet, I don't consider that an enemy. Just, I don't know you. But something else I realized with the story of Adam and Eve was that Adam, he has to partake the punishment, right, of working until he's back into the dust. Women, their punishment is sorrow multiplied. And you can look at that in a couple ways, where women are so hyper emotional nowadays. And I mean, not even nowadays, they're always hyper emotional, but this is why they need a man to ground them. But it's not the man, it's not on the man to be the rock. I fucking hate when women say, I just want a rock. Yeah, we want a robot that just does what they're going to do. We just want a robot that looks pretty. Yeah, no, that's silly, right? Like, it would be silly to say something like that. So when women say, well, I need this, I need that, I want. We get it. We understand. But here's the thing. This is why it's so important to be celibate for at least a duration of time. Because when you're able to see this stuff for what it is, when you grow closer to Christ through your celibacy, and you choose celibacy as a form of worship, that's a key factor, okay? Because you want to do things right now. You want to do things right now and indefinitely. There's something crazy that happens in this life where you just decide to worship God in certain ways and how things happen. When you're obedient to him and his law, statutes, and commandments. This is the most difficult part of following Jesus. I literally had a dream 2 nights ago where I was talking to a bunch of people under a tree. And they were all talking about how crazy life is. And they were all from different types of religions or ethnicities or whatever. And they were saying how hard their life is and how hard their life is. And I empathized with each of them. I was able to empathize with everybody, which is also another likable trait, by the way. And I think it does increase your empathy and compassion when you're on celibacy. But anyway, in the dream, I was talking to these people. And I said, well, have you ever tried to follow Christ? And I asked them all. And none of them said yes. They said, no, I've never really tried to follow Christ. Even the Catholic or it wasn't the Catholic, it was the Orthodox Christianity. I asked the Orthodox person. They said, no, I've never really tried to follow Christ. And I said, tell me what happens when you all follow Christ. Following Christ is literally the hardest thing to do. Because you have to look truth in the face at all times. And if you don't, you will slip up. You will lose yourself. Because you've never had yourself to begin with. But when you make the decision to follow Christ, Christ will not forsake you. It's like the once saved, always saved. That's actually true. And I would say that if you fall away from Christ, you were never saved to begin with. You were never saved to begin with. If you fall away from Christ. No. You literally can't. When you are saved by Jesus, you are saved by Jesus. And that doesn't mean that you'll never sin again. It just means that you're able to see things a little more clear. And when things happen, the punishment, and you do sin, because especially if you know better, the punishment will be more severe. Because you know better. You see all these people out here that are degenerates, like the slut factory machine, the universities. Okay, the degeneracy there. And the men that are just weak and crownless. They haven't taken the crown and put it on their own head. They haven't become an emperor in their own domain. All these guys, and some of them are quote unquote chads, and they maybe know how to get women, but would you want them on your team if you were to go to war? Because any man who puts women above his brothers, or God himself rather, let's put God first and then his brothers, that man will betray you eventually. That man will betray you. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts. He will betray you. It's only a matter of time. So you want a sexist friend group if you're going to have friends. You want a sexist, if you're a man, you want sexist people in your life. Because that solidifies things and it grounds things. And I'm not saying that you need to hate people. I'm just saying you need to know what they are and who they are. And that's what celibacy does. It removes the illusions. It removes the deceptions through time. And it's only getting intense. It's only getting more intense, rather. Everything compounds upon itself. It's like celibacy is like a 401k, but for your spirit, and in a better way. In fact, it's like a Bitcoin 401k, but for your spirit. Celibacy, dang, that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, so celibacy is a Bitcoin 401k for your spirit. If you continue with the celibacy, and I'm not saying you need to do it forever, okay? Because a lot of people will be like, what, so I'm never supposed to bust the nut again? It's like, geez Louise, man. Like, go somewhere else. If you can't have some nuance with this, go somewhere else. Because I am as nuanced as I possibly can. I really aim to be reasonable, and I really don't think I'm unreasonable. I really don't. I don't even know what I say and how I say it can be controversial anymore. Because I'm literally just speaking like the factual pieces. And I'm not necessarily a pessimist, but I'm not really an optimist either. I'm more of just a realist in the sense of what is the truth and what do the facts about the truth bear out. So really, I think that's all that I want to say in this video, because we've gotten to that point where you're either going to get it or you don't. And if you get it, cool. Consider doing a one-on-one session with me, or the Godlike Master Initiation Program, or join the Regal Change Academy, where we are developing a spiritual military hierarchy that is going to go to war with the fiat system. It's going to go to war with the devil. Like, we are waging war on our enemies as we speak. We are in attack formation. And you want to be depressed? Like, this is something else I was thinking about before we go. If you're depressed as a dude, would you rather be depressed and kill yourself, or would you rather be depressed and destroy the enemy? Like, what do guys do? Like, you wallow in self-pity, bro. You wallow in self-pity. Like, don't do it, King. Don't do it. Do not kill yourself because of a woman or because of the system or whatever like that. We have to fight. We have to stay aggressive. Where is your freaking balls, dude? Locate your balls, keep your word, and that's how you'll regain your honor and your consistency in life. So, with all that being said, stay blessed. Peace. Until next time.